My husband Ethen looked at me and said, "You're just too masculine, Sarah. You don't know how to submit to a real alpha." I just smiled and said, "You know what, Ethen? You are absolutely right." Then I quietly filed for divorce. Ethen and I had been married for 6 years. I am a software engineer and he is a mid-level sales rep. We always split our bills right down the middle. Life was perfectly fine until about 5 months ago. Ethen got a promotion to regional sales director. It came with a $12,000 raise and suddenly his entire personality flipped. He started listening to this toxic podcast called The Apex Brotherhood. Every morning it was all about high-value men, hustle culture, and how women need to be submissive traditional housewives. Keep in mind, I make $140,000 a year. Ethen makes $85,000, but I never rubbed it in his face. I always supported him. Things hit a breaking point at his company barbecue. I was standing by the cooler when I heard Ethen talking to his new Apex bros. He was holding a craft beer, puffing out his chest and said, "Sarah is okay, but she's way too independent. I need a woman who respects my authority as the head of the household. I'm thinking of serving her papers once my bonus hits and taking half the house equity to start a real estate empire with you guys." I stood there like completely frozen. On the drive home, I confronted him. He didn't even deny it. He just smirked and gave me that infamous line, "You're too masculine, Sarah. You don't know how to submit to a real alpha." So I gave him exactly what he wanted. You see, Ethen forgot one very crucial detail. The 4-bedroom house we lived in, it was left to me by my late grandfather 3 years before I even met Ethen. The mortgage, the deed, the insurance, all solely in my name. And Ethen's dad, Arthur, he is a total sweetheart. But Ethen had basically abandoned him in a cramped, run-down assisted living facility, claiming he was focusing on his grind and didn't have time for dead weight. While Ethen was away on a 3-day alpha male wilderness retreat, I got to work. I called Arthur and asked him if he wanted to live with me, rent-free, in the massive first-floor master suite. Arthur cried tears of joy over the phone. I hired movers, got Arthur fully settled in, and then I packed all of Ethen's protein powder, his designer suits, and his ridiculous self-help books into black trash bags and left them in the driveway. When the alpha returned on Sunday evening, he walked into the kitchen to find his father baking chocolate chip cookies and a stack of divorce papers resting on the kitchen island. Ethen's face turned completely purple. "What the hell is my dad doing here?" I leaned against the counter, smiling. "Well, you said I couldn't submit to an alpha, so I'm freeing you to go find your traditional housewife." And Arthur needed a real home. He screamed, "I am taking half this house." I laughed out loud. "Check page 4 of the divorce filing, sweetheart. It's a pre-marital asset. You get nothing." Ethen hired a slick, aggressive lawyer, threatening to drag me through the mud. During mediation, his lawyer demanded spousal support because apparently the independent alpha male couldn't maintain his lifestyle on his own salary. My lawyer didn't even argue. She simply slid a tablet across the table and played the dash cam audio from my car, where Ethen explicitly stated he was going to blindside me and steal my equity for his buddy's crypto scam. His lawyer went dead silent, then leaned over and whispered aggressively in Ethen's ear. 10 minutes later, we settled. Ethen signed a walkaway agreement. No alimony, zero equity. The cherry on top, Ethen took his entire life savings, about $40,000, and invested it with his Apex Brotherhood friends anyway. 2 weeks later, the FBI raided their office. It was a giant Ponzi scheme. Ethen tried to crash on their couches, but his brothers completely ghosted him the second he ran out of cash. Last I heard, the real alpha is sleeping on an air mattress in his cousin's unfinished basement, while Arthur and I are planning a 2-week vacation to Tuscany.